hold on. Hold on. Dude, she was nuts. I'm glad she's in jail. And I'm glad.
Crazy ex tried to off me. She's in prison. True, I just heard the story of the dumb bitch going to jail that worked at Mickey D's. I follow you and other on YouTube that tell relationship stories. I've been a listener that was in a relationship before. I do want to send you that story, and I just got closure recently, and it wild, but what I just went through was nuts. This incident I'm sending now happened in June. I think that us men that have shish going on in our life should leave these bottom feeders alone. Her name is Dee. I met at a gas station. She was so sweet, and in my head, I wasn't going to judge her for her job. I should have. Now, the guy in the other story said that he was a truck driver or a FedEx driver. You know what? I'm not going to speak too much on it because I guess I don't know exactly what FedEx drivers make. Maybe they make really good money. I don't know. I don't think I'm better than him. I don't think I'm better than the McDonald's girl, and I don't think I'm better than this girl that I met at the gas station. I never was like that, but I did put in the effort. I spent 5 years in undergraduate school. I spent another year and a half in my master's program. It was tough, it was rigorous, but it got me to where I am today, a licensed professional. When I met this girl at the gas station, it did cross my mind. Wow, I can take her out of here. What's she working here for? She was beautiful on top of that. She was so funny, so I encountered her a number of times before I asked her for a number. I'd go to this speedway often to get coffee, or I'd go on my way back home from work. The first time I seen her, she compliments me. I just got a trim up for my hair, not an actual haircut, just trimmed around the edges and fixed my beard. She complimented me. That day she says, "Wow, you're so handsome. Look at you. Oh my gosh, look at that smile." I was flattered. I don't get that often. I work with beautiful women, or I'm around beautiful women, and they don't compliment me. In fact, they want you to come at them. This girl was coming at me. It was different, and I liked it. I'm going to be honest. It crosses my mind. Why is she working at a gas station? She looks like she's about my age. She was actually younger than me. I'm 42. She's 36. The fourth time I saw her at the gas station was ironic. So, here's the thing. There's two of the same exact gas stations near my place. One is closer to me, and the other one is a little further out, but it's close when I'm driving home. For some reason, in the mornings, I was going to the one that was further from me to get coffee, and I will stop there. On my way back home, this random day, it was a morning, I believe a Wednesday morning. I decided to go to the one closer to my house just out of convenience because the other one gets really busy in the morning, and I was running a little behind. And I had meetings to go to that day, so I go to the one closest to me, and she is there. I look at Dee and say, "What are you doing here?" She said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "So they got you working at both stores?" She says, "Yeah, they send her back and forth sometimes, but she prefers the other store because it's a little busier, which means she doesn't have to stand around and be bored." We sat and talked for a little bit, just briefly while I was preparing my coffee, and I get up to the counter. I look behind me to make sure no one was waiting behind me because I didn't want to hold up the line asking her for her number. I say, "Why don't you write down your number and maybe we can hang out sometime?" She says that would be awesome. She asked me if I go to church in the area, and I said no. I was actually looking for church as well. Maybe we can find one together. When she says that, I said, "Oh yeah. She's a good girl, just what I'm looking for. It's just a retail job, nothing wrong with that." She brought that up, and it really, really hit me because that's what I was looking for. I told myself if I'm going to get married, my girl is going to be a believer in the Lord. She's not going to be a partier. She's not going to be a liar. Any red flag in the beginning? I'm out. Oh man, I guess I forgot about the red flag when I met her. Dee, that is. I couldn't believe who I was talking to later that day, so I texted her on my way to work, letting her know that I was going to give her a call later that day on my way home. She texts me back and says, okay, cool, great. Don't forget to look up those videos I told you about. So she made fun of me a couple days before because I was buying protein shakes at the gas station. She was telling me how these shakes have steroids in them. She told me to look it up and do some research. I actually did research and I didn't find anything about steroids in protein shakes, but nonetheless, I'm driving home from work and my plan was to call her, maybe later in the evening. She texts me on my drive home. She says, "Hey, what are you doing?" "I'm off work. What are you up to?" I text her back that I'm driving. I then call her. She didn't answer. She then calls me back. I pick up the call on Bluetooth, the first sentence out of her mouth. "Man, do you know what those mother fudgers do to me? They effed up my schedule. I told him I can only work a certain number of hours because of my daughter. These sons of bitches trying to make me work late hours that I don't want to work. I have a whole kid to take care of." Guys, I was silent. I thought, is this the same girl I've been talking to at Speedway? Talk about code switching. She is a completely different person at work. I thought this was a sweet, innocent, God-fearing woman. She is on this phone, cursing up a storm. And it's like she could not stop talking. She just kept going, and I'm saying occasionally, ha ha, oh wow, dang. She just kept going and going. There was no control. Then she said this to me: "I'm sorry, I need to calm down. I need a blunt." I said, "Oh, hell no." In my head, of course. She puts on a sweet voice and says, "So how was your day?" I was quiet for a second. Then I finally spoke and said, "It was good." I tell her everything and briefly talked about my meeting. I felt like I was just boring her. We just seemed like two completely different people, just not on the same page and probably shouldn't even be friends. She starts asking me about my job. She telling me how interesting it is, and she told me how she does carpet and flooring with some guy that flips houses in our area. She helps with painting and stuff like that. She's going to be doing that for a while until she finds another job, but she says it's definitely needed as far as finding a job because she needs stability. She doesn't want to be sitting on her hands. She told me that she didn't have full custody of her daughter. Child's father did. She would just have the daughter on the weekend and some throughout the week. That's a red flag. I ignored everything, but at the same time, guys, I don't technically date this girl. We never made it to relationship. I guess we were trying to become friends, but let me continue with the story. It's interesting. I should not have given her any chances at all. This phone call gets a little more interesting. So she tells me how she has to pay out a settlement to a store clerk. I ask her, "Why are you paying a store clerk? What's going on?" She said, "Well, the store clerk assaulted her for some reason. She was trying to return some food or something. She didn't like the service or something, so she tried to return it. The store clerk wouldn't allow her to do it and wouldn't give her the money back. She says the store clerk starts to hit on her and she defended herself. And now she has to pay this guy upwards to $4,000 or something. It went to court and everything. I believe she was arrested. She claimed it was her word against his, and he lied saying she assaulted him. She didn't technically say that she was arrested, but I assume she was. I'm assuming they're garnishing her check. So this is all on the first phone call. I ended up ending the call because my parents called me. They were asking me if I could bring them food from their favorite restaurant and hung up the phone with her. I got off the phone thinking that this bitch is crazy. How in the heck did she switch up like that? I would have never guessed. She was the sweetest woman I've ever met in my life at the gas station. But she was at work playing a role, and this girl was a freaking gangster. She was so pretty, pretty gangster. So I decided I just wasn't going to talk to her anymore. I just won't call or reach out. I didn't even think to block. I should have blocked her, and I would have forgotten all about her. I didn't need to go to that specific gas station. There's other gas stations. I just like that place. So anyway, the next day she texts me, "What you up to?" I look, damn, I didn't text back. She texted me A question mark. For some dumb reason, I told myself, man, I shouldn't judge her. She's probably just frustrated because she got fired or she quit her job. Let me just talk and it doesn't have to go anywhere. It's just friendship. So, I went with it. No intentions on sleeping with her or being with her. I was just curious. I didn't want to judge her. I judged her off initially meeting her. I thought she was a very, very sweet girl. But then when I called her on that day, I got the number. She got fired or quit. She was someone I would never talk to. I was leaning towards maybe she is that sweet girl, and she was just frustrated. I called her and we talked for a bit. She was calm. She was very calm. After about 5 minutes, I realized why she was calm. If anybody listens to rapper Lil Wayne, on a lot of his tracks, before he raps, sometimes he inhales and exhales smoke, indicating he just hit the ganja. I heard that. She was in the middle of talking, and she inhaled, and she was kind of silent for a minute, and then I heard her blow something out. And that's what she said. Sorry I had to hit this good ass joint. I said, oh, wow. Yeah, she's never going to be my girl. I'm never going to try to make her my girl, but I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We had an amazing conversation. We were talking about everything from the past that happened in our city. She grew up the same place I grew up. I just never met her before. We talked about how we used to frequent a certain mall that's now shut down and a lot more. I thought it was a cool conversation. It wasn't her cursing or being belligerent. It was just reminiscing, really, and talking about music and stuff. So at the end of the call, she told me how she wanted to go to a concert comedy show. It was happening in a city that's in our state, about an hour and a half away. She was asking if I wanted to go, and I said, why not? It won't hurt. So I went and got my ticket, and I thought we were going to meet there. The day when we were supposed to go, I tell you, I was beat. I intended to go. I just decided I was going to take a nap. We had to leave out around 7 o'clock at the latest to get there on time. Before doors closed, I slept past 7. I woke up to 3 missed calls and text messages from her. Wow, you're really flaking on me. What did I do? That was so wrong. I see how you are. I called her and no response. I texted her and said, I am so sorry. I freaking fell asleep. She called me and said, I knew you were going to do that. I just had a feeling that you were going to dodge. I don't know why. I figured you really didn't like me, but I am who I am. I said, no, that's not the issue. I fell asleep. I was tired. I told her everything I did that morning, and I thought I could sneak in a nap, but I ended up sleeping most of the day. I didn't tell her this, but honestly, earlier that day, I had a huge argument with an ex-girlfriend. It was pretty big, and she just drained me. I hadn't talked to her in months, and it was honestly like a bunch of emotions. I mean, I wasn't crying, but still, the way things ended with her was just horrible. But I didn't tell Dee this. I told her the other stuff I did, like clean out my garage. But honestly, I was drained. She ended up hanging up, saying she was going to go watch a movie or something. So we ended the call, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, well, the night's not over. We could still do other things, and I remember she talked about liking some restaurant that served lobster ravioli. I figured, well, let me see if I can find a place out here or that's nearby. I found 2. I was excited, so I texted her and said, hey, I found a restaurant that serves lobster ravioli. Let's go. Let's go hang out there and have a drink and just chill and talk. She texted me back, no, I'm good. Have a nice night. I just got over it actually, went out that night. I went to a Mexican restaurant and just sat at the bar and had some margaritas. Hung out there until they closed, and I drove home. Met a girl that night too, actually. She was gorgeous. Turned out she was a working woman. That went nowhere, but that's a completely different story. The next morning, I wasn't really thinking about Dee. I just got up. I went for a long walk, and I scheduled a massage at this place nearby my house. I was walking, listening to music. I go in for my massage, and she texts me saying, Grand Rising, I hope everything is okay with you. How was your night? I told her it was great. I was out walking. I sent her a picture of myself walking. And I sent her a picture of myself in the massage chair. This is a self-massage company, so there's no one in the building. You could go in and you can just schedule an hour or two in the massage chair. She texts me and says, "That is so messed up. You're just out having a grand old time. Forgot all about me. Why didn't you invite me? I like going walking. It's not like I was going to make you pay for it. I can pay for myself." I reply back, "I'm sorry, you know what? I should have. I would love to hang out with you." She says, "No. I can tell you're not interested. It's okay though. Have a nice day." This makes me feel bad again. I already felt bad for flaking on her words. It kind of made me want to chase her a little bit. I don't know if this is an angle she was using or what, but it freaking worked. I really felt bad. And I said I want to do something nice for her because ultimately she does seem like a cool girl. I don't know, maybe she was raised on the wrong side of town. So I started to text her more. I noticed that I was the one reaching out. She was replying with one-word answers. She didn't want to talk on the phone anymore, and the one time we did talk on the phone, she made fun of me. So I told her where I went to high school, and she told me she could tell. I'm like Carlton from Fresh Prince. I'm nothing like Carlton from Fresh Prince. She was telling me, "I bet you never been to a certain side of town in our city." I told her I was born and raised there. I lived in the hood until high school. She's just telling me she can't tell by how I speak, and I probably never been through anything. It was annoying because I've been through a lot as a kid. I will say, in high school, is when I felt like I could finally breathe, when we moved, but that's a different story. I believe she was just upset with me, and this was her way of getting back. I took it on the chin, and I didn't show that I was upset or anything. She followed with telling me how she's been getting money by cutting hair. She told me she had a barber's license. She used to cut all the time, now does it here and there for extra money, but since she's not working, she's doing it more. She does dreads and braids as well, and massage stuff. She told me how she had some type of massage gun. Clients just sit in the chair, and she'll massage your shoulders with the gun and everything. I thought that would be amazing. I asked her if she could do it for me. She said certainly. We set up a day. I said, "Okay, Friday it is." Now what we didn't do was set up the exact time. She knew I got off work at 5 o'clock, sometimes later, so I told her it would be late in the evening. She said that's okay with me. "Any time is fine. I ain't got nowhere to go." I said perfect. About 7 o'clock roll around that day. She's texting me. "Dang, flaking on me again? You are such a flaker." I text her back and said, "What do you mean? I still want to get my hair cut today." She says, "No, you don't. I'm at home finishing some things and I'm going to head straight to you so you can wash my hair, cut my hair, and give me a massage." I told her, "Don't give me a discount because we're friends." She said, "I never had any intentions on giving you a discount." The way she said it, I was like, damn. Okay, all right. She has an attitude. Headed over to her house. It's close to 9:30 when I get there. She just had this attitude. I said I can come another time. In the morning, if it's too late. It's not too late. I'm usually up till 3 in the morning. Can we play some dominoes or something before I do your hair? I don't know how to play, I told her. She just got excited, saying I'm going to teach you how to beat me. She's asking me about my birthday and my age, and she is telling me how I'm a freak because of my birthday. So apparently, Scorpios are freaks. She is saying how, "Oh, I know you know how to use that tongue and all this stuff." Honestly, in my mind, I wasn't thinking about having sex with her at all. She looks good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know her. I didn't have any condoms, like I said before. I talked with my ex-girlfriend, and honestly, emotions were still there, so me moving on to a relationship would just be too hard. Especially having sex, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Anyway, I'm just laughing at her jokes about going down on her and all this weird stuff. And she says, "All right, let's get ready. Let me wash that hair and dry it. And I want to cut you." I don't know what the heck happened, so she wasn't smoking. But while she was washing my hair, she was just making these weird noises. She was mumbling. Soap was getting in my eyes, but I reached up and wiped, and I peeked at her. Her mouth is moving, and she's mumbling something. I look in her eyes. She looks at me, and I quickly shut them. I was scared as hell. She told me to sit up, and she's going to dry my hair. Then I started talking. It's like she didn't hear me. She was too busy having a conversation with herself. I was ready to go. She then asked me, "Does your barber use the razor?" I said, "Yeah, but you don't need to use the razor though." It's okay, I was scared. She wasn't about to pull a razor out on me, but she did. She insisted that she needs to use the razor because that's how she gets a line. So she dried my hair. When it was dry, she started cutting it when she was doing the line with the clippers. I said, "Oh, can I see the mirror?" "It looks amazing. You're good. That's it." "I don't need the razor." And she gave me this evil look. "You're getting the razor." I was terrified. I just wanted to leave. She pulled out the cream, put the cream on me. She then stood back and just stared at me. I said, "Are you okay?" She walked down the hall. Her exact words. I put this on everything I love. I hear her running down the hall. I lean over and she's running towards me. Razor in hand, I said, "What are you doing?" That's when she started screaming. "Ah!" I grabbed her arms and she's biting down on her teeth, pushing at me, trying to cut me with this razor. This woman is trying to off me. I'm scared as heck. Luckily, I can muscle her. I slam her arm on the table. Razor falls out of her hand and I dip the F out. Immediately call the police. I jump in my car. I'm so scared. Here she comes running out. I'm on the phone with dispatcher. I'm telling exactly what just happened. She's banging on my windows, screaming. "I'm effing going to cut you. I was told I needed to off you. I'm just following commands from my master." Guys, I was scared as crap. I nearly crapped my pants. Whole time on the phone with the cops or the dispatcher, she's outside my window laughing. Her emotions just kept changing, telling me that she was going to off me, calling me a snitch for calling the police. Could even hear her say, "When the police get here, I'm going to cut them too." This wouldn't be the first time. Oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? I'm sitting there with this cream drying up on my face and my hairline, and this girl standing outside my car screaming. Police arrive, and she definitely gets arrested. She tried to attack the police as well. All in all, guys, that girl is in jail. She got locked up. This was not her first time. She has a long record: theft, assault, burglary, kidnapping, and attempted offing. Man, I got so lucky. I'm never making that mistake again. Guys, leave these bottoms dwellers alone. It's not worth it.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Dude, she was nuts. Why did you do? Well, I'm glad she's in jail. And I'm glad you're okay that you can write this email. Oh my God, dude. I'm glad you're good, man. He snapped. She's sitting there having a whole conversation with herself while she's doing your hair. Yeah, she showed signs early on. Leave him alone, man. Leave him alone. Don't. I'm flabbergasted, dude. You went to jail. Good. Guys, if you want to send in a story, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That's truestorynation@gmail.com. I'm going to catch you guys at the next one.